Press between the pages of my mind. Memories press between the pages of my mind.
Sweet, sweet Kyle. Why did it end like this? Why, Kyle? Let's do some math, guys. Because I haven't seen an update in terms of any of the contracts involved or the return for Kalo yet. I am going to check that before I update this video. So if something happens, check the end of the video and you'll get an update just before the outro with Kawhi and the usual outro that I do. All right. So without further ado, let's do the math. So the reason I'm looking at this is because there's a different amount of money you can pay players if you're operating below the salary cap or above it. So if we are below it, we can offer more money to a mid-level exception. So to get below it, we can package up these kinds of players. These are the guys we can take options are. Today's the last day for a lot of these contracts. Gillespie goes a little deeper. Some of them go to about the 8th. So any of these things can happen up until about the 8th, really. So we can pick up Hood or Baynes to use them to get lower by shipping them to a place like, say, Dallas. Okay? So what does this mean? Well, what it means is here's the math that I want to do. So I want to show Kalo. Sweet, sweet Kalo goes out to Miami. Oh, sweet, sweet Kalo. And then Dragic comes in, but then we ship him out to Dallas. We bring in something like Lawson and Precious. Oh, Precious. From the Heat. And then maybe we pick up something like cauley-stein from Dallas, okay? And I really like this. This, in addition to the Gary Trent Jr. signing, which you can see on that list as well, brings us to 126.46 million, which is 14.46 million over the cap, which means in order to be able to get below the cap, we got to move at least Rodney Hood's deal and then some of the smaller ones. So those could include like Bembry, Yuta, Gillespie, things like that. Or we could move Baynes, okay? Or we could move Baynes and Hood. Easily done. But it comes down to who wants these guys, all right? So where does this leave us in terms of the cap space? Well, what it means is if we get below the cap, we could sign a player, a free agent for about, 8-9 mil, and then we would still be below the cap, which means we could sign another player at the, hey puppy, at the mid-level exception, which we'd be able to use 9 million. So I will update this, guys. Remember, it's all about the Larry. If I see any of these contracts have changed or a return on Kalo before I put this on the web, I will update this video. Cheers. Okay, guys, so I'm just taking a look quick to see if there's any update to the Kalo deal. I don't see anything here. Patty Mills did sign with the Nets, which is pretty crazy because I think they got Blake Griffin back, Bruce Brown, Jared Allen obviously done. Carmelo Anthony and LeBron will play together in the Lakers. Same with Ariza going there. Lonzo Ball we know about to the Bulls with DeMar DeRozan. That's on there too. Will Barton to the Nuggets. Batum back with the Clippers. Kate Bazemore to the Lakers, which is crazy. So a lot of ring chasers. Malik Monk signed with the Lakers as well for undisclosed amount of money. Bialichka to the Warriors. Bruce Brown back to the Nets. Sterling Brown, with all the troubles he's had, signing with the Mavericks. This is an interesting one. Anything that has the Mavericks, Reggie Bullock, 3-year deal for 30.5 to the Mavs. Anything with the Mavs could be interesting because the Raptors are rumored to be flipping Dragic there. So keep an eye on those. Alec Burks, great re-signing there with the Knicks. He's getting the playoffs. Butler obviously done. Caruso to the Bulls as well. Zach Collins to the Spurs. Oh, people were asking, why are these teams doing things like Collins? Why are they spending so much on guys that are not stars? And the reason is they're blowing up their team. So they need to make it to the salary cap floor. And as you can see, the floor is set at 101.173. So that's why Spurs are doing things like that. It's kind of like a form of tanking without like having even played the season yet. Rudy gave and moved on. The last I checked, I could not see anything about the deal for Kalo. So nothing's been finalized yet. And my math is wrong because I forgot to add Barnes. So here is a very important signing for Raptors fans that I just came across. And look at this, Rodney Hood to the Bucks for 1 year. So that means the Raptors can no longer use his 10 mil. Okay, so he's off the books for the Raptors. He cannot be used. So that's another cookie crumb. Like we know that Hood's 10 mil can no longer be used to balance contracts. So that's a big deal. So that's a big one. So I'm glad I updated the video. Cheers, guys. Be well. Dude, Kawhi, you're not even going to say hi to me in my own house?
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
That's bullshit, Kawhi. Your laugh is
This
stupid.
is Chef's Kiss approved. Mwah!